The woman who called me in March kept a plunger standing beside her toilet the way other people keep a wastebasket there. 2 years of that. She'd had 2 service calls to snake the line, and both times the line came back clean. Then somebody quoted her for a new toilet on top of it. Nobody had looked at the bowl itself. That toilet hadn't delivered a full flush in about 6 years. It wasn't clogging because something was in the way. It was clogging because it no longer had the water behind it to finish the job. Around here, a service call like that runs $150 to $250, and she paid it twice. What actually fixed it was $4 and 1 evening. That little mistake gets expensive fast. I've been doing residential plumbing a little over 30 years, most of it in and around Chicago. I've walked into a lot of houses with a problem toilet. The reason I stopped reaching for the snake first is simple. Most of the time, the blockage isn't the story. The flush is. So here's what you're getting. The 3 things everybody blames first, and how to rule each one out with your own hands in about 5 minutes. Then the cause it actually is, and what to do before anybody quotes you for anything. The third thing people blame is the one I get argued with about. It's also the one that sends the most money out the door for nothing. And near the end, the $4 overnight soak that gets a flush back, plus the 2 things you must never pour in with it. Here's what's actually happening when a toilet works right. A toilet doesn't push anything down the pipe. It drops a fixed amount of water into the bowl fast, and that water climbs the curved passage at the back until the passage fills. Once it's full, it pulls. That's a siphon, same as a hose running downhill out of a bucket. The bowl empties because it's being pulled, not pushed. The pull only starts if enough water arrives quickly enough. A gallon poured in slowly does nothing a bucket wouldn't do. The same gallon delivered in 4 seconds pulls the bowl dry. That water comes in from 2 places. There's a ring channel running around under the rim, feeding a row of small holes you'd never notice. And there's one larger opening down at the bottom front of the bowl. Plumbers call that one the siphon jet, and it does most of the work. It's the shove that starts the pull. So every clog in this video is one of 2 things: something in the way or not enough water arriving fast enough. Almost everything a homeowner blames is the first kind. Almost every repeating clog is the second. The first thing everybody blames is what you're flushing. You'd have no reason to look past it. It's the only variable you control, and it's what everybody brings up first. So test it. 1 week of half the paper and nothing in there that doesn't belong. A paper problem is consistent. Same amount, same result every time. A toilet that clogs on a normal load one day and a light load the next isn't reacting to what you put in it. And if it ever clogs with almost nothing in the bowl, paper was never the variable. Where it is, the answer is wipes. Wipes don't stop at the toilet. They stop at the first place the pipe changes direction, then catch paper behind them. That's why the bowl looks fine for weeks and then backs up all at once. One at a time is not a safe version of it. And in an older bungalow with a long run under the floor, a wipe has more places to hang up than it does in a newer house on a slab. The second thing people blame is something stuck in the bowl. Everybody's got a toothbrush story, and it's the explanation that ends the search. This is the test I want you to actually do. Fill a bucket with about 2 gallons. Pour it into the bowl fast from about waist height in one go. Not the handle, the bucket. If the bucket clears it cleanly every time and the handle doesn't, there's nothing stuck in there. That curved passage at the back of the bowl is called the trapway, and yours is open. It'll pass what you ask it to pass, as long as the water arrives fast enough. So your problem is upstream of the bowl, in the tank. An object behaves differently. It's progressive and consistent. It gets worse, never better, and it doesn't care how you deliver the water. Where it is, the answer is a bowl that's never been right since one particular day. If this is useful so far, like the video and subscribe. That's the whole ask. It's what tells me these are worth making, and it puts the next one in front of somebody standing in a bathroom with the same problem. The third thing people blame is the drain line. This is the one I get argued with about, and I understand why. It's the one with a plumber attached to it. Test it before you buy it. Run the tub and the bathroom sink together for 2 minutes. Then flush the toilet. Stand by the basement floor drain and listen. Watch whether anything else in the house slows or gurgles. A line problem is a house problem. A main or a lateral, which is the pipe running from your house out to the sewer, doesn't pick one fixture and leave the rest alone. The lowest drain shows it first, and that's almost never the toilet on the main floor. One slow fixture is almost never the main. A camera run or a power snake runs $250 to $500, and it varies a lot depending where you live. That's money well spent when the signs point there. It's money gone when they don't. Around here we've got clay laterals and parkway trees, so the main line is plausible enough that people take it without testing. A clog that keeps coming back is telling you something. Ignore the repeat and you end up paying somebody to hunt for a blockage that was never in there. So here's what it usually is. The bowl is no longer getting the water it was built to get. Here's what's actually happening. The ring channel, the small holes it feeds, the siphon jet at the front. Every one of those openings is a place where hard water leaves mineral scale behind, a layer at a time, the way it builds on a shower head. Nothing breaks, nothing fails. The holes just get smaller. I see this in homes every week. A toilet that used to empty its tank in 4 seconds now takes 7. 7 seconds is a rinse, not a siphon. The bowl fills, it swirls, it drains, and it drains without ever pulling. You can confirm it in 30 seconds with no tools. Flush and watch where the water comes into the bowl. A healthy one runs from every point around the rim at once, and it starts with a hard shove at the front. A scaled one comes down in 2 or 3 streams, usually the same ones every time, and the level rises before it falls. Then hold a small mirror up under the rim. Open holes look open. Scaled ones look like somebody half filled them with chalk. I was in a 2-flat a few years back where the upstairs bowl flushed like a fire hose and the downstairs one wouldn't clear a normal load. Same water, same line. 12 years between the 2 fixtures. Nothing wrong with the plumbing at all. So here's the fix. 4 steps, and each one has a way it goes wrong. Step 1 is the tank level. Lift the lid off. The water should sit about an inch below the top of the overflow tube, the open pipe standing in the middle of the tank. Low water is a short flush, full stop. Where people go wrong is bending the float too far the other way. Then water trickles into the overflow and the toilet refills every 20 minutes forever. The tell is the tank refilling itself with nobody home. Step 2 is the flapper, the rubber flap at the bottom of the tank that lifts when you push the handle. Flush with the lid off and watch it. It should stay open until the tank is nearly empty. A stiff, warped one snaps shut early and cuts your flush in half. What makes it stiff and warped is in tank bleach tablets. Save your money. You don't need it. If you replace one, get the flapper made for your model. A universal that doesn't seat right has you blaming a brand new part. Step 3 is the openings. A piece of stiff wire or a small hex key worked gently into each hole to break the crust. Gently. Then the soak I'll give you at the end. 1 round on a badly scaled bowl gets maybe half of it back, so expect 2 or 3 rounds. Judge it by the flush, not the calendar. Step 4 is that larger opening at the bottom front. Same treatment. People skip it because they can't see it, and it's the one that starts the pull. All of that is about $4 of vinegar. The other end of it is a $200 fixture plus somebody to install it. Now I want to be straight with you about why nobody's told you this. It isn't that anybody's hiding it. The plumber is in your house 40 minutes to clear a line and get to his next call. That's what he was called out for, and he does it. Whether the bowl is still capable of a full flush is a different question, and 40 minutes doesn't have room for it. It just isn't anybody's job. I'm not telling you never to spend money on a toilet either. If your bowl is a first-generation low flow from the 90s, stop working on it. Those pushed 1 6/10 gallons through a bowl designed for 3.5, and no amount of descaling fixes a design that never worked. A current fixture with a real flush rating runs $200 to $400 plus install, and it's worth every dollar. I've put them in my own family's houses. That's a newer product that's genuinely better, and there aren't many of those. So if your toilet is under 20 years old, the $4 comes first. If it's a 90s fixture, stop spending weekends on it. There are times when it isn't the bowl at all. Case 1. The tub or the basement floor drain gurgles when you flush. That's air being pulled through another fixture's water seal, which means either the drain line is restricted or the vent is. This is where I'd call a plumber. From inside the house, you cannot tell those two apart, and they get fixed in completely different places. One of them is roof work. The other is out under the yard. Case 2. The bowl rises near the rim, holds, then drains slowly on its own, every single time. That's a partial obstruction downstream, usually in the closet bend, the elbow directly under the toilet. Get somebody out. It's behind finished floor, and it should be opened once, correctly, by somebody who'll put it back. Case 3. A smell at the base, or the toilet rocks when you sit down. The seal underneath has failed, and water has been going into the subfloor. This is where I'd call a plumber. That's sewer gas plus hidden water damage, and the floor under it may not be sound. Case 4. It only backs up in heavy rain, or only when the washing machine drains. That's the sewer line backing up on itself, not clogging. That's backwater valve territory, a one-way valve out in the line, and it's permit and inspection work, not a homeowner job. Case 5. And this one matters. If anybody has poured chemical drain cleaner into that bowl, don't plunge it, don't run a snake into it, and don't put your hand in it. That liquid is still sitting in there, and a plunger throws it. Tell whoever comes out before he starts so he can protect himself too. Here's the soak. Shut the supply off at the wall. Flush and hold the handle down to empty the tank. Heat about half a gallon of plain white vinegar until it's hot to the touch, not boiling. Pour it slowly down the overflow tube. That sends it into the ring channel under the rim instead of straight into the bowl. You want it sitting in the openings, not down in the water. Leave it overnight, 6 hours minimum. In the morning, work the wire through each hole, turn the water back on, and flush twice. 2 things you never pour in with it. Nothing containing bleach, and no commercial bowl cleaner. Vinegar alone. If a bowl cleaner has been in there recently, flush twice and give it a day first. Mixing is how people end up with fumes in a small bathroom with the door shut. What good looks like is a flush that starts with a shove instead of a rise. If it's only partway back, do it again in 2 weeks. This is maintenance, and it comes before anybody's sales pitch. If you do one thing tonight, do this. Take the lid off the tank and look at where the water sits. That one look tells you whether you're descaling a bowl or shopping for a fixture, and it costs you nothing. If you got something out of this, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.